Welcome back to the Roundup. I'm your host, Coach Evans. Well, one of 6 hosts on the Roundup, and today is Monday after a great Saturday, which was one of our co-hosts' birthday, and then a great Sunday, which was my birthday. And so, we got Team Taurus heavy in the building, heavy in the building. So, it was a good weekend. I know by me, we'll talk Zay in a minute, to see how his weekend was, and we're just gonna get into it. And, not a lot going on. We ain't gonna waste y'all time. We're gonna dive right into it, knock it out, and I would say go watch basketball, but shit, we ain't got that to do. And the regular Mets can't stop people from scoring, so I ain't gonna talk about that. And, so let's just get everybody in here. We'll start off. Oh, wrong button. Get that out of here. Add that to the stream. Start off with this guy. Mike, what's good with you?
What's good, everybody? Another Monday, another roundup, round table, whatever we want to call it. Let's get it, man.
Next up, we're gonna bring in Chris from the Deep Cover Podcast. What's good, Chris?
What's going on, Coach? Glad to be here. Always a good time chopping it up with my boys. Let's get into it.
Happy birthday, Marcus. Marcus Payne says it's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Marcus.
Happy
you
birthday.
Share birthday with the GOAT, with a lot of people's GOAT, Ray Lewis. A lot of people's GOAT. Next up. Got the whole crew in. We're going to do this first. I always go Jose first. Let me go Brighton first. What's up, B?
What's up, Coach? Thanks for having me, as always. What's up, Mike, Chris? How y'all doing?
Chilling, man.
And bringing in the other birthday boy.
Yes.
What up, Jose?
Hey, Team Taurus in the house. Happy birthday, Marcus.
Appreciate it. Hey, you feel a year older?
I feel like 5 years older.
You know what? I brought my birthday in pain, back and foot.
Really?
So what? My foot was hurting, but I was trying not to move a certain way so my foot wouldn't hurt, and then tweak my back.
Oh.
So, but I think I'm almost as 100 as I can be now. Though I ain't limping as hard, so but I'll be good. I made it work. I got on the grill with the limp and the back problems yesterday.
That's your flu game on the grill.
Yeah.
I had the purple Kool-Aid.
Had a little something there.
Okay, yeah. I had that adrenaline going.
No. What you had was the rub.
That too. I did have a rub on my foot and my back. I did.
What was that called again?
It's Jane Doe rub.
Jane Doe. That is Jane Doe rub, ladies and gentlemen.
Mike, you know about that?
Aches and pains. Yes.
Mike knows
about that.
I was heavy into it, and see if you go to the Daily Show and you comment, you get a chance to win some of that rub. Some of that rub, but it is.
That's why he's able to go today. Okay, Coach was laid up yesterday, and he put some of that Jane Doe rub on. He was grilling, he was hosting shows. Forget the icy hot.
Right. Don't do that Shaq stuff. No, that Shaq stuff. Don't do that Shaq stuff.
That's right.
And last but not least, Hendo.
Gold egg. What's going on?
Hey, you had so much purple in your background. I had to find you on the screen.
What's going on?
What's good? How was your weekend?
It was well in yours. How y'all feeling?
Good. We good.
Happy birthday,
we here. Deer antler juice. Yeah, this is my deer antler juice. That's and Jane Doe rub. That's it. Jane Doe rub is something else. But also, we was talking about this in the chat box before we got started. I had, if any of y'all seen me and my wife did a little video We went on basically like a wedding shoot in Paris, and we got married in Paris and Vegas, but we took wedding pictures in Paris for real. And so the day of, we went to this little bakery or whatever. You know, they known for their sweets and stuff over there. And I had this chocolate cake, and it was so good. And I was like, and she recorded, and like, man, this is the best damn cake I ever had. Well, that shit has been topped. Yesterday I had cake. It's like a double chocolate cake, and it had bacon in the frosting from Yardbird. I think it's Yardbird.com, bruh. I have been a fat kid. I can't wait to get rid of that cake. I'm taking it to work tomorrow and giving some away. I have been a fat kid on that. That cake is good, and the bacon is so slight enough to where it ain't like overpowering. And it's just if you like bacon. If you don't like bacon, you know Hendo probably disgusted right now. But
I'm about to say, look at Hendo cringing.
hey, let's get this thing started. We'll get this thing fired up, and we'll start with the schedule. Baltimore Ravens schedule. Let's see. 18 weeks, bye week 13, game in London week 6. Basically, just want to go around and give a schedule prediction from everybody. And I'll start with you, Mike. But matter of fact, y'all just jump in. Don't let me call names. Just jump in.
We going week by week?
Now you just do the whole overall deal. Like maybe talk about a rough game, a game you think we're gonna lose, something like that. If you think we're gonna lose any.
All right. I think week 1, I think they come out blazing. Right. I think they tend to look all right week 1. Last year against the Jets, it was, a little tougher than we expected, but they won the game. But I think they come out blazing. New offense. It's gonna be something we ain't never seen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think by the time we get to maybe Detroit, week 7, I think that's when, we having that moment where we like G-Ro calling the plays again. What's going on? Because they, the NFL, they quick, they catch up, right? You know what I mean? So I think by that time the league catches up to them. But man, look, 13 wins is what I'm looking for at least. The division games, they go back and forth. They split, they split a fair amount of them. They might probably split with the Bengals, maybe split with Pittsburgh. I think they'll sweep Cleveland. But that San Fran game, one that's on, I got my eye on that too. But depends on their quarterback situation, right? They talking about Brock. I'm hearing different things. He's gonna play. Then I'm hearing Brock ain't gonna play at all this year. So I think their quarterback situation will be a little bit iffy. Which will give us a little bit of an advantage there. But that defense is serious, so that's a game that I'm worried about too. But I think 13 wins is definitely something they can pull off.
Yeah, I think that I had them at, I believe, 14 wins. And I'll say I think the one thing you can't really catch up to, like you're referring to, like kind of getting film on them and catching up with the offense. But you don't really catch up the talent. And Baltimore's got that for the first time on offense. I think that Lamar, Odell, Bateman, Zay, Dobbins, Andrews, I think that they're going to run wild on the league this year. I've got them at 14 wins. I think I counted that San Francisco game as a loss. That's a real tough one. And I believe I had them splitting with Cincinnati. And I think that they're going to get caught sleeping when they go to London and get upset by Tennessee. But I think it's going to be a fantastic season for them.
I'm picking them to beat San Francisco. If San Francisco, if they hold up, if they get their quarterback situation right, and they're one of the better teams in the league, I think we win that game because Harbaugh can get us ready for those games, right? He just doesn't get us consistently ready on a week-to-week basis, which is why, we will end up losing to a team we shouldn't be losing to, right? And we'll all be sitting here scratching our heads saying they're not ready, but a team that's undefeated, we'll go to their stadium and beat them, right? Because everybody understands this is a big game. But it shouldn't be too many mental lapses this year, just because the stakes are high just all around for everybody, right? Like Harbaugh, I mean, this is it for him, man. Like he can't be out in the first round this year and keep his job. All right. they damn sure can't have like a flop of a season. Like that's out the question. Like the expectations are high. Everybody understands what it is. There's expectations on Lamar, now that he has talent around him. So I think they're all locked in. J.K. Dobbins, been telling you all off season, just give me the damn ball, right? I have high expectations for him, the defense, all that stuff. So, every team is gonna, if they drop again, you don't expect them to drop, and we're gonna be no different. But yeah, I have them at 14-3 as well.
Yeah, I think for me, like I look at the schedule and I think like bare minimum, barring injury, at least 11 games. Like that's like bare minimum in my opinion. But I look at the schedule, and obviously the Bengals. Those are the games that you got to circle. Obviously you got the Chargers, you got the Jaguars, but as far as the team that's been there, that it's gone to the Super Bowl, it's gone to the AFC Championship. They're right now. Those are the heavy hitters on their schedule right now. So, that's going to be the test. That's going to be the measuring stick for the Ravens. How good is this team? How ready are how close are they to being at the top of the AFC? We're going to get a good idea of that in those Bengals games. But for me, the real test is the playoffs.
Right.
That's the real test, because I think we look at this schedule and, not to be overconfident or too cocky, but they got to the playoffs last year without Lamar for a large chunk of the year, and a pretty horrible offense when you look at it as a whole.
The worst.
So this year, even if let's just say they don't have Lamar, this offense is still way better than last year's offense.
Oh yeah.
So, it's playoff time. That's what's really, the time where like, all right, now let's see what this team is made out of. So, that's what I'm looking forward to the most, is Bengals game, and then, getting to the playoffs and then seeing how this team responds to it.
Yeah, for me, like Chris said, it's all going to be dependent upon health. We have not been the healthiest team for the past few years, but of course, Rodney said earlier, we let go of Steve Saunders. So that should help us a little bit. Now, in the past, we have been one of the least traveled teams in the NFL. This year, we're going to do a lot of traveling. So that can factor in as well. I think after the Ravens actually chose not to take the bye after the London game, they declined it. So that may be an issue, traveling to London, playing that game, coming back. For the Cincinnati series, we play Cincinnati on Thursday night after playing Cleveland on Sunday. So being that it may be a tough divisional game, and we don't know what we're getting from Deshaun Watson. So normally in the past, we would take that as 2 easy wins. We really don't know. And that San Francisco game for me is going to be a big one, because I think that could be a Super Bowl preview, depending on how they do. I know that we don't know what's going on with Brock Purdy, but they do have Sam Darnold. And to Rodney's point and Suge Stream, he played a lot better than we expected him to throughout the tail end of last season. And they have Kyle Shanahan as coach. So I think that game is going to give us a telltale sign. Just the beginning of the season, we have to start strong, but we don't know what's actually going to happen and what's going to go on, because as we know with what happened with JK in Washington, Gus, Marcus Peters, I don't think that the offense is going to play a lot in the preseason. So those first 3 to 4 weeks are going to be the tester of us actually getting the offense to come to form, for them to get the continuity together. And if it doesn't happen right, we could slip up. But if it does, we should start 5-0 and maybe cruise on from there. So for me, 11 wins is the floor, 12, maybe 13 will be the ceiling, but it's all dependent upon health to me.
Gotcha.
What weeks is our bye week?
13.
13.
I mean, between which games are
The Rams and the Chargers,
Rams
the
and
2 LA
Chargers.
games.
Okay.
I personally had us at I think earlier I did 13-4. So I had us slipping up after the London game, thinking the travel would be too much. Had us splitting with Cincinnati. I think I had us losing to San Francisco. I think I had 13-4. So but I definitely know I had us losing the game after London and losing to San Francisco. And 2 other games that somewhat just based off of the fact that sometimes we just don't come to play. So that's where I came up with my number at. Did we get everybody?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's bounce this thing on. Let's one LeBron crossover on to the next topic. All right, Carolina Panthers. Not the lead B out. Talk a little Panthers. So B, we'll start with you. What you think as far as record wise? We know your team is young, so to speak. Is it technically a rebuild? What are you looking at record wise from your Panthers?
Record wise, I'm looking at 10-7 and a division championship, and that's based, one on the kind of early impressions of Bryce Young. Everybody that's been around him says he's one of the smartest football players they've ever been around, and two, off of the coaching staff that they build, I think that they'll be able to get the young team ready to go a little bit quicker than one might normally expect. And then three, as we've talked about before, the division is garbage. So I think they pick up a lot of wins in division. I believe I had them going like 5-1 in division. Because don't believe in the Saints with Dennis Allen and Derek Carr. People are kind of picking them just because he's Derek Carr, and everybody, the Panthers are young, the other two are bad, but Derek Carr's played one playoff game in his career, right? He's not a guy that you look at to get things done, and certainly not Dennis Allen. And then obviously, Tampa doesn't know who their quarterback is, and Atlanta unfortunately does. So I think it's going to be a division championship for Carolina, and I'm looking at 10 wins.
Gotcha. I looked at it and I counted off to myself 7. I counted 7 losses, so they're really agreeing with what you said, 10-7. And the 7 I counted off was Seattle, Minnesota, Detroit, Miami, Colts, Cowboys, and Jaguars. Then the 7 I counted off. I don't know if those is kind of around the same 7 that you had, but
yeah, I think I had them beating Detroit and losing to somebody else, but I can't remember for sure now. Because they beat the brakes off of Detroit last year when Detroit needed to get into the playoffs. But it's a new season, anything can happen. But I think at least 6 of those are the ones I had them losing to.
Gotcha.
Hey, I'll jump
Muted,
in.
You muted.
My bad. No, go ahead, Chris.
No, what I was going to say is that what Brodney was talking about. That division is going to be interesting, because I think the Falcons are going to ugly themselves to some wins this year. Like it's just going to be ugly, dirty football. And, we saw them do that last year and they just doubled down and they're like, all right, we're going to add Bijan to the mix and just get extra ugly with it. So I think they're going to be like one of those tough, scrappy teams that's just annoying as hell. But that whole division is it's going to be interesting to see because, the Panthers revamped offense, defense got a bunch of young ballers on each level of the defense. So I'm excited to see how they come out. And, obviously, I'm a big Bryce Young fan. So I'm excited to see how he plays. And, they got a pretty tough schedule to come out the gate. They got Atlanta, who, I just said probably going to be a scrappy team. New Orleans, sometimes they got a good defense. Sometimes they don't. They like Jekyll and Hyde. Then they at Seattle, Minnesota, at Detroit, at Miami. So, the rookie, he's going to have a tough little, a little gauntlet in the beginning. But I think they weather the storm. And I feel like if you could put money down on them to win the division, it's the time to do it right now.
Yeah, I think, look, they won 7 games last year with one of the worst coaches I've ever seen. Now, he didn't get all those wins. I know some of those were Wilkes. But I mean, it was a poorly constructed team. They end up getting a couple of players. I think that was through luck, but they had a lot of misfires and just poor coaching. And they still were able, right there at the end to compete for the division. I think they can pick up 4 more wins. Right? I think they can get 11 wins. Some of these teams, like the Vikings, I don't believe in the Vikings, man. They always had talent, but they never performed. And now they're slowly losing talent. Now there are talks of trying to trade Dalvin Cook. Yeah. I mean, Adam Thielen is on the Panthers now. Yeah, they still have the best wide receiver in the game, in my opinion. But Kirk Cousins, I think he needs more than one. Right?
Kirk
so
Cousins,
I think
the
that's
businessman of the year.
He's what?
The businessman of the year.
Yes, of the decade. But no, I think they're going to sweep the division. I know it's hard to do, but I think this year in particular, it's just Atlanta. They might be tougher, but they're not there yet. I think this Panthers team, this owner David Tepper, is tired of this, rebuild phase. He wanted to make a big splash coming in. He wasn't able to do that. I think now he thinks he has his guy. They should think that, and they put together a coaching staff that knows how to win, right? So I can see 11 wins for this team. Definitely winning the division.
Yeah, I'm with Jose. I have them actually sweeping the division as well. I look at the fact that you have Jim Caldwell brought in to work with Bryce Young and Frank Wright. Look what he did with Carson Wentz. If he can do that with Carson Wentz and make you think he's an NFL quarterback, what is he going to do with this young talent? This division is porous, and unlike you, Coach, I think they're going to beat the Colts. So that's what I think. That's what puts them at 11 wins, or they're going to beat the Vikings. Because, like I said, if you trade in Dalvin Cook, that's taking a big chunk out of their offense. Plus, they just traded Zadarius Smith, so the defense isn't going to be what it was.
Right.
They let go of cornerback Patrick Peterson. So they're in a rebuilding phase, and it's not done. They're trying to do a salary dump, so that might be another easy win for them. So I just think with the division being as poor as it is, the NFC overall just a weaker conference. They can get 11 wins, make it to the playoffs, and maybe even win a playoff game.
Well, I will say this, B, and not to shade you, that Christmas Eve game, it's gonna be tough. I think that's the Packers.
Green Bay.
I think
I
Eve
mean,
game.
that
I think it's gonna be tough.
It all depends on Jordan.
It does.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it does.
He's going to be a Hall of Famer. That's what they do, right?
That's what they do. A couple years on the bench, and you're the new hotness. But he played but one game last year. He looked okay.
Yeah.
He didn't look great. He didn't look.
You didn't like
nice.
that game?
You being nice.
I thought he was all right.
He was okay. He had some bad points. He had some good points. But they went out and they got him a lot of weapons, or potential weapons. They're all rookies, so we'll see. But I believe in Bryce. I believe he can take them down.
But I will say this is, and I know you've seen it, the video of him in OTAs, he does not look like he belongs there.
He tiny, bro,
He
tiny,
is small, and I'm not saying that's gonna make him a bad player. I'm just saying the visual. Like when I first saw him, like, why is Junior Washington the quarterback with the NFL team out here?
Yeah,
it is. It stands out.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see him because I love seeing outliers, and he's the ultimate outlier. So I can't wait to see him on the field and what he does because he could make a lot of young dudes money with the way he plays.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure can.
And I'll say this about the Panthers. I mean, I think they'll be a young, scrappy team, right? They'll be in just about every game they're in. I think they, being young, that'll bite them in the behind a couple of times where they'll lose games that they may have should have won or right then and there. But I think they're going to be a tough out for any team that they play. And I think Bryce will. I hope he succeeds. I think he will. He's a little guy, you know what I mean? But look, as you said, Hendo, Frank Wright saw something in Carson Wentz, right? Out of was it South Dakota State or something like that? So look, to have the number one pick fall in your lap, I'm sure they did careful research on all the guys that was available. And I trust his eye on what he saw in Bryce. So I think Bryce will do his thing, and I think Panthers are going to be a scrappy team for sure.
Young, you call my team Taylor Heineke. That's what
No, I think the one thing that the people overlook with Bryce is he played in the SEC, and it's a lot of NFL talent on defense in the SEC.
Even in practice,
right? On his own team, but he's torched them. So it's not going to be exactly the same, but he has experience. And they said the same thing about Drew Brees, Doug Flutie. They're too small, and they succeeded. I mean, even to an extent, Baker Mayfield.
Right.
He is not the biggest guy. He's had his moments. So it's all about how you scheme it. And once again, just like with any team, if you put talent around him and don't expect him to do it all by himself, they can be successful.
Gotcha.
And Bryce got to be smart. Like he can't do that stuff that he was doing in college because he's a little too fearless. Because he will stare down the barrel of the gun and wait till the last possible minute and take that hit in order to get that window that he's looking for. So he has to be smarter than that, and learn to play another down, because we see with Tua, where that could get you. So I'm hoping he can kind of lose some of that, just a little bit of that courage that he has, and just be a little bit smarter with it.
I don't think it's gonna be a problem. I think that's why they picked him, because he's probably more receptive to the coaching, right? And I think he's
been coached hard.
Yeah,
definitely been coached hard.
And I think he's the one. Coach tells him do this, he's going to do exactly what the coach tells him to do, right? So if they say, "Hey, if it's not there, get rid of the ball. Don't take any hits." He's going to do just that.
I was just about to do it, Jordan. So earlier in the call-in show, we were talking about San Francisco and their quarterback situation, and so Jordan put it in there. He said Sam Darnold is the best thrower of the football, and I told him to remind me to ask Brodney his opinion on Sam Darnold being the best thrower of the football ever.
Sam Darnold looks like a franchise quarterback. He don't play like it.
He was saying ghost.
And like Hendo said, I mentioned that he played much better towards the end in Carolina once Steve Wilkes took over and everything. He played much better. He still wasn't playing well. He's a guy who just kind of, he has all the physical tools, and he doesn't have it upstairs, really. In San Francisco, though, with Kyle Shanahan, if they have to start him, I think he'll be fine for as long as they need him. I mean, listen, Brock Purdy went in there, and Brock Purdy was fine. I know people aren't going to agree with this, but Brock Purdy can't play. I
try to tell him it's Shanahan, but people don't want to listen.
Like Brock Purdy throwing that same slant to Ayuk and Deebo Samuel, just getting the hell out of the way, and then Christian McCaffrey, and it's not him. It's the, like you said, it's the system. It's Shanahan, and so if they absolutely have to start Sam Darnold will go out there, and people will be writing articles about his resurgence. And then he gonna get a contract somewhere else.
Hey, speaking of best throwers, in your guys' memory, who's the quarterback that stands out in your mind? Like, man, he has a nice pass. Like
James Prochet.
he threw a dart to that defender.
Culpepper.
Dan Marino.
Culpepper.
Mike Vick.
As deep ball wise, Culpepper, Mike Vick, I like that.
Pre shoulder surgery, Chad Pennington stands out to me.
I'm gonna go Marino. I'm just like Hendo. I'm going Marino.
Marino was different, yeah. Nitro with a good one too. He was an asshole, but Nitro with a good one too.
Teddy
he threw darts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cunningham threw a pretty ball.
Yeah,
he did.
So let me ask y'all this while we on this topic real quick. Just a quick flip of it. First of all, hold up. One thing we forgot to do. Salute to you.
Thank you, Mike.
I was coming back, especially when I saw Hendo where he is. I was like, yeah, I ain't gonna
forget. Go, Chris. Hold the jug. So question: who is the prettiest / smoothest runner that you've ever seen?
Route runner or just running?
Runner with the ball.
Gail
Foster.
Gail Sayers.
Walter Payton.
Barry Sanders.
What about you, Hendo?
It's between Gale Sayers and Barry Sanders. I'm gonna go Barry.
Like Barry looked like he didn't have any knees at all. He just shifted one way.
Gale, like he was gliding.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, the two that I'm gonna say, but I think who's in there? Nitro said a good one. I think who Nitro? Arian Foster had a pretty one.
He was a glide.
Yeah,
Craig too.
That's what I said. You giving Nitro credit? God damn, man.
Oh, you said Arian Foster?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I didn't. But Ricky running Waters. And I ain't gonna like this one, but LaShawn McCoy had a smooth.
Shady was sick.
Shady, yeah.
He was.
He had a smooth run with himself.
Marshall
Falk. Yeah, Falk.
Yes.
Yeah.
I take mine back. It's Falk. It's Falk. I take mine back.
Honorable mention, Priest Holmes.
Priest, yeah. Priest was smooth. He was smooth with it.
CJ2K.
Like, I was,
he was just fast. Like
but the way he changed direction, like his body.
Yeah.
CJ2K, like the motorcycle people that lean when they hit the curves. That's what Chris Johnson looked like when he was turning curves.
Yeah.
Barry, I think is the best running back all time. He's my favorite running back all time. But when I think of smooth, like Arian Foster to me didn't even look like he was running hard. He didn't look like he was running full speed or anything. He was like you said with Gale and Walter, like he was gliding through the defense.
That was Eric Dickerson. He didn't look like he was running that hard or fast, but he couldn't catch.
Slow jam threw one out there too.
Yeah,
Juice Man. Yeah. Dickerson.
Take away what he did.
That's a tough takeaway, coach.
Great. He didn't do it on the field.
Well, we don't know because he has
Arian Foster invented autopilot, and that's exactly what he looked like he was on.
Yeah. It was smooth. I see Dickerson name. Dickerson was he ran a little too high, he was a big guy. I actually didn't know them going to teach, but I actually met him in Vegas, and he is a big dude.
Mike, we laugh because Mikey meets everybody.
I run into him randomly at this cigar lounge in Vegas, and he's a tall guy,
6'3".
You know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, you play running back, especially in those days. You're used to smaller guys, but he was smooth too. But Foster was pretty.
I met Najee in high school.
Big guy.
So, real quick, we had a kid that he graduated with Cam, because Najee's with Cam Akers now, and we had a kid at school I was working with that was, he was good for Mississippi and being recruited by Bama too. So they had like the A day or whatever, and we took him up there, and they had all the running backs in the room. So Cam Akers comes out, and we know Cam because Cam is from Mississippi, and we played against him. Our kid comes out, and then this other dude come out. So I tap our kid. I'm like, hey, why? I thought this was a running back meeting. He's like, Coach, he is a running back. He's from California. I was like, God damn. I say, well, we know where he going. And kid was like, yep, that's why I'm going to Mississippi State. Okay, I'm ended up going to Florida State. That kid went to Mississippi State, and Najee ended up coming to Bama. All right, so let's do this. Before we move on, tell everybody where they can find you, Mike.
Look, man, you can find me at Open Mic with OTR Mike.
Mike, hold on, Mike. Pause for me. Pause for me. Hold on, Mike. This, I'm sorry, I forgot I found this. This, people was talking about bacon and cake. This is a kind of a picture of the cake. And like between those chocolate chips is like little pieces of bacon. When I tell you that sun gun was slapping. Slapping. I mean, like, I had 2 pieces tonight.
Not even one, two.
I had 2 pieces tonight, but I'm sorry, Mike. I apologize.
Oh, it's all
Go ahead.
That's the third time Coach brought up that cake, so I know it's good.
Oh, you missed the pregame show. I brought up pregame.
But yeah, man, I'm OTR Mike. I am the host of Open Mic with yours truly. Look, man, that's the show where the mic is open for any discussion, no matter what it is, who it is, or where it is. Go over there, subscribe to the channel if you have not, man. I'm on the road to 500. I got little ways to go, but I know y'all gonna help me with that anyway. So I give my appreciations in advance. But yeah, man, check me out, man. I do a little different than the sports thing, even though I dabble in that too. But I get a different side of these folks that you see on the screen, man. So go over there, check it out, subscribe, and that's where I'm at.
All right. Next up on the docket, Chris.
You catch me on Twitter at Chris Just Joking. Deep Cover Pod, TBD. We will let you know when we drop in. But if you haven't checked out Mike's last episode, it's a heartfelt one. So shout out to Mike and everybody who's lost a loved one, whether it's a mom, an aunt, grandmother. So that was a good episode, Mike. He was tugging at the heartstrings in that one.
I appreciate that, bro.
Next up. Which one of y'all want to go? I want B. You go.
honestly don't think that you're in control of that, Coach.
we have a routine here, Coach.
Hey, my bad. I was trying to throw a little spinner-rooney. I'm sorry. Look, they put 2 down and people like, we throwing the heater.
All right, we are the Lunch Break Hot Take. We do a live stream every Wednesday night at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time, followed by the Overtime Show, which is what you can find on patreon.com/LBHT Show. And you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at LBHT Show. And as you see right below here, LBHTshow.com. If you guys can take a couple of seconds, go over there, sign up for our upcoming newsletter that's going to be designed by none other than Will G. Appreciate you, Will G. Yeah. So we're working on that. Sign up for the email list, okay? We won't spam you, okay? We're going to send you important notifications like, the event coming up August 4th, okay? We're going to send you reminders, schedules for all of our shows, and any unplanned events coming up. We'll let you know about that. So lbhtshow.com. Wait for that pop up. It takes about 5 seconds, and put your email in there. Thank you very much.
And you can also find us and OTR Mike on Ring Kings podcast. We put out episodes every Monday around noon. We live stream after big events. So we're going to be live streaming this Saturday. There's a couple of major fights coming up. We got Katie Taylor versus Chantel Cameron, and Devin Haney versus Vasily Lomachenko. So definitely head over to the channel.
Talking about that one for a minute.
Yeah, that's going to be good. It's going to be a good one. So make sure you join us for that.
Got you. Next up on the docket. And before he go, did you hit the mark yet?
I think I'm like 12 away.
So Hendo is 12 away from 1,800, correct?
Yes, sir.
1,800. We need to make that happen.
That got to happen tonight.
Need to make that happen. 12 away from 1,800. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. If you know that song, you're telling your age. That's not a regular number song.
Real old.
If you know that song, you're telling your age. If I'm not mistaken, is that Electric Company? Electric Company, yeah. Is that right?
Was that no? That was that Electric Company?
It wasn't Sesame Street.
It was Electric Company.
I think it was Electric Company.
Hey, you guys.
Yeah, I think it was that. Okay. Or you can hit the count. Oh yeah. Hey, Hendo need 12. Hey, while he doing his spiel, go to Rogue Pod. Go ahead, Hendo. I'm sorry.
Appreciate y'all. Oh, you good, Coach. Good. You can find me at the Rogue Pod, where on YouTube, where I live stream every Sunday. I do Hanging with Hendo once again, I believe, coming up starting this Saturday, but that one is only for patrons. Patron only live stream. You can find me also doing videos throughout the week. You can find me every Friday at 6 p.m. with my man, Mr. Galloway, doing Electric Relaxation with Mr. Galloway, speaking about hip hop, mostly all old school hip hop. You can also find me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook at the Rogue Pod. That's pretty much it.
12. Do me a favor, 12. So what we're gonna do is, because I probably should do it at the beginning. I forgot about it until right before I asked him to say his piece. When the 4:30 call-in show comes tomorrow, if he's not at 1,800, I'm gonna turn the elevator music on. We're gonna sit there. So y'all got till 4:30 tomorrow, Eastern time, to get Hendo to 1,800. Now we ain't mentioned y'all. Mike said you almost at 5, right, Mike?
I got a little bit of ways to go, but I'm on the road to 5.
Say where y'all at.
For Ring Kings?
Either one. Either goal that's like coming up soon so that we can push.
I guess we're going towards we're over 1,500, so 1,600 is the next goal. Okay. Ring Kings, yeah, we're pushing for 500. Us and OTR Mike are similar in subscriber count.
We neck and neck.
Yeah,
we are 78 away from 1,600.
Okay,
there you go.
17. All right. So let's say this time next week we get y'all to 1,600. So
okay.
The show don't start next week till we get them to 1,600. and it potentially could be the call-in show.
Okay.
Next
Why are
week.
you trying to bring
So
that
you know
back?
what? You know what? No, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Hendo get to 18. LBHT get to, was it 16?
16.
Yes.
16. Mike get to 5. And most of the tally get to 6.
There you go.
And we got the call-in show Monday.
Well, what about Chris? D Cover got some goals too.
Right.
You're right, Chris. That's my bus. You're
Chris
right.
said
I apologize.
We TPD, right?
Well, Chris, do you know the numbers?
Hell no, I don't know.
And the thing is, and I'm gonna say this about Mike, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. But Mike just having fun. He, like with y'all, it ain't. Mike ain't really pushing. If somebody show up, fine. If they don't, fine. That's why I didn't really say nothing. I wasn't trying to like shade it or leave him out.
No, I know.
Mike's personality is like, I just like doing this.
Mm-hmm.
People show up, they show up. They don't, they don't.
That's why people need to show up.
Well, they do, because he give good. I mean,
Excellent.
good shit.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Good quality shit. So the man's smart as hell.
And he funny as hell.
Oh yeah,
Y'all don't get to
funny.
see this. Chris
He's definitely funny.
is hilarious.
No, both of them. No, actually,
Well,
all
yeah,
three of them.
All three of them.
Yo, Carrie
Carrie jokes be
Carrie funny on the low.
Carrie's smart. Like you got to have some wits to pick up Carrie stuff.
Catch up.
Yeah, Carrie stuff will go over your head in a heartbeat.
Carrie quiet, but he's funny, man. He a sniper.
Right, right. So definitely, I hit them goals, because I think somebody was asking about the call-in show tonight. But hey, if you want it, hit these goals. So you got to promote. Even if you already subscribed, you got to promote it to other people. And I'll do my part tomorrow in the 4:30 show to promote it to other people. I write myself a note. That way I make sure when I'm doing my intro and all the other silly stuff I do to talk about big and put people's stuff up. And I'll actually pull the channel up, so I'll see the numbers in front of me while I talk to you guys Tuesday and Wednesday. And Patreon's Thursday and Friday too, because y'all getting some stuff Thursday and Friday too about Monken when he was at Tampa. So we're gonna start that process of trying to figure out what Monken may do with the Ravens offense. And my man All 22 started. Me and him been talking back and forth since Monken got hired, and we were going to try to collab on it, but with me doing other stuff and actually that second channel, I'm like, man, just go ahead and do your thing, and I'll just bring up the rear. So he put some good stuff out. I peeped it, but I didn't want to watch it because I didn't want what he thought to sway what I was gonna think. But I will say, go watch his stuff. Good quality content or whatever. But we're gonna dive into and see what I think Monken is gonna do with the offense, especially with the weapons we got. Because, and somebody said it earlier, even if Snoop has this team last year, we probably at least win a playoff game. And we probably ain't even playing Cincinnati because we ain't the 7th seed or whatever seed we was. Probably gonna be a better team because they're guys that he can just get the ball out and let them do their thing. You can't just dropping it off to Ricard is like dropping it off to me after 2 pieces of cake. Nothing gonna happen. All right. Hey, so let's run this right quick. We all know. Let me get this off the screen. We all know that NBA Final Four is here. Basically, it's basically the 4 bubble teams. When they said the bubble championship was trash, it's the 4 bubble teams again.
Running back. It's
my Heat. It's the Lakers. It's the Celtics. It's the Nuggets. The Nuggets. So basically, this question to everybody on the panel and in the chat box: who you got coming out the East? Who you got coming out the West? I'll go first and make it quick. Heat, Lakers.
Oh, you know what? I'm going Heat, Lakers too, Coach. The rematch. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, Coach. I hear you. I got you. Yeah. Heat, Nuggets.
Is that hating your heart or is that for real?
No. That's listen. Jokic is the problem.
Yeah,
he should have been MVP because we saw what that other so-called MVP did.
Man, that hurts.
Speaking of, do y'all subscribe to RDC?
Yes.
Yeah.
I sure do.
Motherfuckers are so funny.
And they're quick with it too.
What? It's like they already they have it lining up before the game over with.
The script's written, choreographed. Yeah.
To be fair, 90% of that video writes itself because when does Doc Rivers come through?
They already knew.
I think I said on the last when we talked about this last that if the Heat win that series, they will make a run to the finals. So I'm gonna go Heat. And I also said that the winner of the Lakers Warrior series will make it to the finals. So I'm going Heat Lakers.
I'm gonna go Lakers out of the West, and as a lifelong Celtics fan since 2021, I'm gonna say the Celtics are gonna beat the Heat.
Yeah, it's Lakers and Celtics. The expert is right.
There we go.
Jimmy Butler ain't that guy.
I'm trying to.
Sometimes he is. Sometimes.
But if it's sometimes, that means you're not.
Jimmy, man.
I'm not say nothing bad about the Lakers.
What can you say though?
I'm not say nothing bad about the Lakers.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, B.
What's up?
If he gets them to the finals, will you give Jimmy his respect?
I respect Jimmy. I'm just saying he's not a superstar player. He's not on that top tier, with obviously these guys are older now, but with the LeBrons, KDs, and all that, like he's not on that level.
Nah,
he's a tier or two below.
Let me ask you this, Brodney. So we talked about this earlier. 9 undrafted guys.
9.
Mm-hmm. This will be the second time he's willed them to the finals, and because that's almost the same darn team, almost. This will be the second time he's willed them to the finals if they win.
I'm
not saying he's LeBron. I'm not saying he's LeBron. He don't have
a
longevity.
champion in Kyle Lowry, but sorry.
And they got Haslam too. Come on, coach.
but they are without Hero.
Yeah. When they get to the finals, Hero might be back.
He might be back.
You make a compelling coach. You make a point. There, right?
I'm saying I ain't saying he LeBron. I ain't saying he KD.
Right.
But he's something right up under them.
So let me ask you this:
KD.
Can you be a superstar without being an elite player?
Barkley
was elite.
Yeah, I would say. I mean, he won. He was an MVP.
Embiid was MVP.
I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer. I'm just asking the question.
It makes you think. It makes you think.
Because I agree with you. Like Jimmy Butler gets another team to the finals, win or lose. Like that's saying something.
He's at there's a classroom.
Saying
right?
something about Boston.
But there's a classroom where LeBron, KD, all of them staff, all them cats is in this one classroom, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy at the door, right? He that kid that they like, yo, we like you, but you can't get in this club yet. But he there. He knocking on that door. But Jimmy, he might not be a superstar, but he's a star. You know what I mean? And I think it's not pretty how Jimmy does it, right? So that kind of takes away. Yeah,
it's
so
physical.
It's right. So they look at him and say, all right, man, he ain't no superstar. It ain't cute. It ain't pretty how he does it. But man, he would look what he doing with this team right now, and he can't. Let's not forget coming off of his own injury.
Right. Because I tell you who's not a star, Mike. Fucking Bam Adebayo.
Facts.
Yeah.
And then Heat my team.
They're not even a flashlight.
But coach, Bam was just on his trajectory at one point. I thought he was going to be something.
He was an all-star.
He did.
He was an all-star.
You know what's really funny, Endo? So was Jimmy Butler.
Hey, next topic.
Look. So seriously, like if they make it to the, he took them to the finals once, but I mean they're in the conference finals again. If they make it to the finals again, like look, I love Joel Embiid, but we call Joel Embiid a superstar. He ain't never been to the finals.
He ain't never been out the second round.
And if Jimmy Butler beats the team that the current MVP couldn't beat, I don't know, man. I'm not saying he's a superstar, but I get the argument.
Right.
You know what I mean? I get the argument. Did B just leave or did you boot him?
No,
listen, to Mike's
on my keyboard
again. To Mike's point, he may not be in that classroom, but he's in the portable classroom next to it, and he can see in the window.
He's not in the classroom. That teacher is saying, Jimmy, I told you, get the hell down the hall. You don't belong here.
That's crazy. But so
appreciate you, Nitty.
I got Heat, Lakers. Brodney, who you got?
Lakers Celtics.
Mike,
Heat Lakers.
Hendo,
Heat Nuggets.
Chris,
Lakers, Celtics.
and Jose.
I picked the Lakers and Heat.
Gotcha. So that's coming up this week. So we'll roll off that to next Monday. Jose, tell us about the meetup before we get up out of here.
Yes, August 4th, the Roundup meet and greet is going down in Columbia, Maryland at Bus Boys and Poets at 7:00. Tickets are on sale. The chat bot is in the chat posting the link. Yeah, it's in there. All right, there you go. Eventbrite is where you can go buy the tickets. They're on sale now. They are selling. They're still available, but they are limited. So once they're out, there's nothing we can do about it.
We got a certain number of people we can have. So hey, don't wait till the last minute.
Huh? That's what we need to be doing for the call-in show is ticket sales.
Ah.
Okay. All right. Listen, the ticket includes food and drinks. Okay. Adult drinks, there'll be a cash bar available for that, but everything else will be included, and we'll send you home with a nice little gift bag as well. So,
and Brandon reminded me you can do exclamation point tickets if you need that to pop up sooner than the rotation of the chat box.
And also, for those of you that just go to Eventbrite, if you search Roundup meet and greet, it will come up. We pop up, and you can buy your tickets there. So either click that link, go to Eventbrite itself, search Roundup meetup, and we will come up. And it's going to be a grand time. Trust me.
Oh yes, most definitely. It's coming together nicely. You know, I'm thoroughly impressed with the way it's coming together. Your local guys are doing a great job, and I'm doing what I can do from afar. I wish I could do more. I hate being the odd person out, but location.
Mm-hmm.
Any parting words before we get out of here?
I don't have anything. B, you got anything?
I'm gonna hit y'all like Russell Simmons. Thank you for coming. Donations. Appreciate you. Hold on, let's get the donation before we get up out of here. Let me go to it. My bad. It's on what's called that seat. That's somebody following directions. He clicked the pin comment and went over there.
There you go.
He picked the pin comment and went over there.
Of course he does.
That was Jared. Okay. Hey, y'all drink one for me. Unfortunately, can't make it to Baltimore. Hey, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah,
you never know what kind of quick stream might pop off for a hot second while we there.
Oh man, how about that, bro?
You never know.
And the next one, bro. The next one.
Never know. Never really know. Oh, I will say this. I'm gonna let B and Mike and Jose talk about this, and then we're gonna close. No more topics after this, promise. Raleigh. I know he got knocked down. I don't know if he won or not, but I do know he got knocked down, but I got it like he was my age.
So look, I'm not gonna pretend I watched that whole fight, but they said that, you know, he was winning the fight. The stoppage was way too early, especially with that ref who lets everything go on. And it seemed like something was up. Even Rolly said, yeah, that was too early, right? And I feel like you say that when you know you're winning the fight. You know what I mean? But again, I don't care if he knocked the dude out in the first round in 30 seconds. That dude is 40 years old, but look at his face. He looks like he's about 65. Okay. You know, that was a manufactured fight, so you can give Rolly a belt because there's a vacant title. So Rolly is a champion right now. And, you know, when you got belts, you can charge more for tickets and pay-per-view and all that stuff. So we'll see what fight they set him up with next. He's already calling out Ryan Garcia. Actually, I think that could sell because they both can talk trash.
I do too.
And there's a belt on the line. So, yeah, that was kind of manufactured.
I disagree with my co-host. Rolly was losing that fight.
I didn't say he was winning. I just say I that's what I heard.
Yeah, no, he was losing, and he was down. He was even at that point at the stoppage. He was down pretty big on the cards. So Rolly didn't. I mean, he had an opportunity, right, to make a mark, right, and I think that's what they thought he would do. Come in here, man, get this guy out of here, get a belt. Now he can continue to sell with his, you know, those checks, his mouth, you know, writes a lot of the times, right? So, but he was losing, man. Bad showing bad showing, dude. I was texting my other homeboy, and I was like, "Look, man, you know how Rolly he likes to leave himself open. Man, don't be surprised if this dude catch him." And then a round or two later, boom. And I was like, "I told you, I should have put a wager on that." But no, so yeah, man, we'll see. I don't know if he ready for even Ryan Garcia, man. After this showing, this guy. I mean, they said this guy was tough, strong. This guy was known for his power. So, but it just wasn't a good night for Rolly. He gonna take it though. He gonna wear that. That belt gonna be draped over his shoulder wherever he go.
Yes.
You ain't gonna tell him that ain't his belt. But yeah, not a good showing for him.
Sucks.
What's
All
up,
right,
B?
fellas? You gonna
No,
tap
just,
in?
just yeah. I mean, look, it's the same thing like Jose and Mike said. He did not look good. This dude, Mike say he's known for his power. That was back in the 1800s. This dude is older than yeah, Rolly was down on all three cards, down big on two cards.
Yeah.
But like Mike said, he is a talker. He doesn't make any kind of sense when he's talking, but you can't really look away. Right, he draws you in. So I'm sure they'll try and set up a Ryan Garcia fight, and Rolly will get knocked out just like he did against Tank. But it'll be big.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, good for him, I guess. I know they didn't want to put that belt on the alleged 40-year-old, but Ryan will pick up another title pretty soon, I guess.
That's it.
Good night. Hashtag no hour.
Wow.
This has to be the quickest one we've ever done.
Facts.
Hey, you know
In
what?
the history of streaming.
Shout out to Shoot. Shout out to Shoot. Shout out to Shoot. I deleted about 4 slides because they were talking about the same stuff I was going to talk about. So, but it's all good. Hey, peace, y'all. Again, get them numbers up, and potentially next week could be the call-in show, and then definitely we got to put something together, like the idea Brittany said, to have like a for real, like maybe a long call-in show when we get a certain number of ticket sales. I think that's where he was going with that. Was that where you was headed with that, Brittany?
Yes, unfortunately.
So that's kind of where we're going with it. All right. So again, appreciate you guys. Go subscribe to everybody's content. We gonna phone check tomorrow, like phone check, pump, and see where we at to push
sub check,
channel,
pump.
man. Right, sub check. But we'll see y'all. See tomorrow. No Still Conspiracy. They had it tonight, so we'll see you Wednesday for lunch break hot take.
Yes.
Random times for Hendo. Never know what you're gonna get.
Yes.
You got a recent video from OTR Mike. Deep cover, y'all got anything coming up? Y'all was it to be determined?
Yeah.
Got you. And then me working on more Sip the Tally. Again, I just dropped a video about Tour Thursday. I dropped a video about really the video was supposed to be about Derrick Henry, but while watching it, I realized how bad Willis was, even though I didn't put that stuff in there. But Willis is trash.
He's terrible.
Trash. Steve McNair rolling over, trash. He is that bad. But again, appreciate y'all, man. Hey, sub, like, comment. We'll see y'all Monday, Wednesday, definitely Saturday. Saturday, you got to be a Patreon to get on hanging with Hendo. So if you're not a Patreon, you can't get in. You Jimmy Butler if you ain't a Patreon.
Looking through that window.
Right. Y'all gonna let me in? Nope. But again, peace, y'all. Peace and love.
Get them tickets, man.
Yep, get them tickets. That's the main thing. Keep the main thing the main thing. Them tickets to the meetup.